There is a serious problem with the legal system. Why do I say that? We have inherited the British system. So suddenly a system suited with a small population is thrust upon a huge country with a humongous population. For say a simple crime of robbery of 5,000 rupees, the procedures will take it to several weeks, months and decades. The jurisdiction of the Supreme Court or the High Courts was never meant to be what is being exercised today. So as I told you, you can technically file a case in the Supreme Court against a conviction of 1 year or a recovery of 10 lakhs of rupees. The Supreme Court was not meant to exercise this kind of jurisdiction. It was meant to exercise jurisdiction on questions of public importance, of public laws, constitution. It was not meant to be a super high court and appellate court. I can tell you, I am in the Supreme Court every day. There are 16 benches today. And I can take a bet that if the same case is put in 16 different benches on the same day, after every half an hour, you will have completely opposite verdicts. This is why lawyers want to take a chance. No client can be told that you have a zero case or a zero chance. See, because of so many vagaries which are involved. Even the strength of the high courts, which we have in the lower courts, they are never ever full or near full. You have about 1,000 high court judges in the country. You will never ever have more than 800 functioning at one time. There was not a single country where judges appoint judges. Till about 1980, judges were appointed by the executive in quote unquote consultation with the Chief Justice. Consultation was consultation, not concurrence. And we had great judges. Outdated acts. You know, we have the Weights and Measures Act, which goes up to 1900. We have an act called the General Clauses Act, which is also 150 years old. You have the Companies Act. The Companies Act runs into 500 sections. You have the Income Tax Act, which is this thick. You have one section which goes on for 5 pages. And this is a fertile ground for litigation. Please understand, the more complex it is, rather than simple, it gives rise to more interpretation, like you said, comma, full stop, and, or. It's not an easy job to prepare a legislation. It's much easier for me to argue and much easier for a judge to decide on the written law as to what it means. But the chap who's framing that must be absolutely clear and a specialist for which you must have a course. There is no course in India.
And coming back to the point that you made, 50% of laws, rules, regulations can be just torn up and thrown away.
Yeah, they're redundant. In our country, a small issue can have 4 appeals. The government is a monolithic kind of body. It pays very little to its lawyers compared to the private field. So it's very simple. You file an appeal. How much it costs? See the amount of time and money which the other hapless fellow is spending. That when you go to the US, the same Indian driver who's driving here and he's jumping red lights with impunity, he will never jump a red light in the US. Why? Because the punishment is swift, harsh.
I'm actually shocked at the way it actually functions, that you've got in the courts, High Court or the Supreme Court, there are 40 cases which are tabled in a particular
Maybe
case.
100.
Maybe 100. 1 or 2 of them may end up showing up. The rest of the people are just there paying their lawyers and they're sitting around. Is this the way it works in any other country?
No. Then when I joined the profession 45 years ago, 99% bail matters would end at the High Court. Today, 25% bails go to the Supreme Court.